What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Phil Spencer's statement that he gave yesterday. This was fun. Basically this entire week on this channel, we've just been talking about Activision Blizzard. Didn't plan it that way, but that's how it happened, and that's okay. So I want to read what he said, and I think obviously it created a big boom online, right? Because my initial reaction, I think a lot of people's initial reaction was, Jesus Christ, like, is he actually saying, this in terms of like the extreme of we're not really going to touch things in terms of like, the relationship with COD and stuff like that with Sony. But then when you read it, sneaky Phil Spencer, I feel like it's a little misleading. So let me read through it, and then we'll talk about, is he point blank telling the truth? Is it a little misleading in his words? What's going on? So he said, had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry, and we value our relationship. So the thing with me, right? Now, I'm not like, again, I'm not trying to pick sides here, right? I'm not saying like one side is better than the other. What I will say is, if he is misleading, like purposely, if he's choosing his words very carefully so he can kind of back out of it later, the fact that he basically like, kisses Sony, kisses up to them, is, not, again, depending on how you read it. And I'm not saying like he's literally like bowing down to them and they're like his superiors, but he's like giving them, a nice little compliment at the end. Sony is an important part of our industry and we value our relationship, which mainly makes it sound like, hey, we're talking, we're having good discussions. We don't want to ruin this little relationship, partnership that we have. And so we're going to keep things relatively the same, right? But the thing is, right, he talks about our intent to honor all existing agreements, okay? So what's tough about that is really we only know because of the talks around the industry. Like Sony obviously has those kind of agreements in place with Call of Duty. And what's different, or I guess what's interesting, is he separates them. So he talks about intent to honor them and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. So, but again, like what's weird is Sony, as far as to my knowledge, right? Like, I mean, maybe they have something like with the new Crash Bandicoot game, right? This Wumpa League. Maybe they've worked in the background and Sony has said, hey, we want to be the ones to market it for you, yada, yada, like over Microsoft, and they've given them that. So maybe something like that is what he's talking about, something that we don't exactly know. I know a lot of people are looking at it and saying like that part of his tweet is the Call of Duty part, but it's odd because he says and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, unless it could be both, because he could be talking about the existing agreements for COD, and then he says our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, so he's probably saying like after those agreements are done, after the contract is over, we want to keep COD on PlayStation. But he says desire. He doesn't say it's going to happen. So those are other things, right? And Call of Duty could literally mean just Warzone, which is what a lot of people have said, right? Warzone could easily be that game that he's talking about, or that Call of Duty part that he's talking about could just be the multi, which is actually what I said, right? I think anything that's like multiplayer heavy, which probably would, I mean, I would say Overwatch too. Overwatch, I was gonna say Overwatch also. Overwatch the number 2, the second game. I think that game would probably, or should be, also on PlayStation. A thing, like, it's tough because, like, I see obviously the potential of having it be on only Xbox, right? Because Game Pass obviously would skyrocket, or should. I don't know if it will. It should skyrocket because of these things. But a point that others have made too is like, you have to remember, even like Minecraft. Microsoft owns Minecraft, right? I actually forget that from time to time, but they kept it on PlayStation, and that was a pretty big controversial move where people got mad, like console war people got mad, right? Because it's like, well, you own them and you're still gonna have them on their console. But like the thing is this, Minecraft, I guess you could switch it for Call of Duty. Like the home of Call of Duty is now on Microsoft or on Xbox, right? You can play it on Game Pass day one, all right? So you have all that stuff. The multiplayer stays everywhere because then you're really limiting, multiplayer. It's important that as many people that can play are playing it. So you don't want to take it off of places. So the multiplayer stays, and then the base game, so the Vanguard, like the story and all that stuff, and even that multiplayer, the home of it would be on Xbox. And if you want to give it to PlayStation, the thing is this, you're convincing people that you can either A, get an Xbox and get Game Pass, and you can play the game for free, or if you want to pay full price for it, you can play it on PlayStation, right? That's basically what, and actually there's one other thing, but let me finish that. That's what they're saying, right? They're saying, well, you can get it on Game Pass for free. Look at the incredible, I guess like deal that we're offering here. Or if you don't, it's on PlayStation, you pay 60, 70 bucks. But the thing is this, Microsoft gets that money. I mean, Sony gets their cut, right? Because if you put it on the PlayStation Store, or I guess if you're selling it at retailers, like Sony takes it. Everybody does that, right? Any game that's on any of these digital stores, the platform holder, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, they get a cut. It ranges depending on who you're talking about. But the rest of the money goes to the publisher. So if you buy Call of Duty, let's say 30, 40, 50 bucks goes every time anybody on PlayStation is playing Call of Duty. You're giving the money to Microsoft. So really, if you're Microsoft, in my opinion, it's a win-win. You could use it as a counter argument where it's like you spent so many billions. Again, there's different ways of looking at it. You spent so many billions of dollars to do this, right? So would you still keep it on PlayStation? Well, you could use it to bolster your lineup and Game Pass so you could keep it only on yours. But putting it on PlayStation as well, yeah, you're giving it to them, so you could say, well, what a waste of $70 billion. But the thing is, those games are still all yours. You could even, I'm not saying like put Spyro on PlayStation, but if you did, okay, and I want that to happen. There's no way that's going to happen though, right? So if Spyro and Crash came out on PlayStation, every time somebody like me buys it, the money goes to Microsoft. So they're making money. They're making money back. Ideally, they're maybe even making more money back than they would on Game Pass, depending on how Game Pass is in that given month or that given year in terms of how much money it's bringing in. So I don't know. He definitely leaves. But like I said, the tough thing is, right, if this didn't have anything to do with Sony, if this tweet was not talking about Sony, then I think I would take it more as like sneaky, kind of like sly-like, right? But the fact is, he talks about like having conversations with Sony. So what? You're like, yeah, I guess you can. I mean, it's the business world. Phil Spencer obviously is supposed to try to come across as like one of the people, right? None of these people truly are, but like he's supposed to come across that way. But in reality, the business world is a dark, hellhole kind of thing. I would not be surprised if he's talking to Sony, promising them this, but maybe even hiding his words. Nothing's on paper. So if it's not written down, if it's not legal, and he's just saying it out loud, that doesn't matter. To just flip his, because again, like these people don't like each other all that much, right? Getting the three of them together for the Game Awards was next to impossible. That Jeff Keighley pulled it off because they just don't do that kind of stuff, right? So I could see it both ways. The fact is, him talking to Sony and then talking about how much he likes, obviously not like that extreme, but talking about how important Sony is to them and to the industry, only to purposely mislead everybody if you're reading it at face value, right? Because if you're reading it at face value, he's saying we're going to honor the agreements, COD staying on PlayStation. Like, that's it. So, and then if he's saying that weirdly, like the way he's saying it is weird and he's doing it on purpose, but he's also complimenting Sony, that's kind of rough. And of course, people can use Sony examples of Spider-Man, I guess, or them locking in Final Fantasy. Again, I feel like these kind of things are a little bit different, but that's obviously just my opinion. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up, and I hope to see you all on tomorrow's video.